Welcome back to Books and Budgets. I am filming my first, I guess you'd call it a monthly closeout. This is what I think I'll call it. It's different from closing out the paycheck budget, which I do twice a month. And then at the end, I do one final closeout where I add a lot of the numbers together and kind of evaluate the whole month. I guess I could start by showing you what I consider to be my absolute meat and potatoes necessary forms that I use for my budget. I've shown you this one, my paycheck planner, budget tracker. I've based these on the Budget Moms, but I did make them myself. I'm actually kind of still tweaking them and would like to customize a couple more things. But I do this paycheck budget tracker. I track my bank accounts, especially the ones that where I keep my emergency fund and my sinking funds, my savings account. I have an expense tracker. I usually do 2 pages of this, but as you saw, I only used one. I usually use the whole thing though. My second page, however, I add something. I have down here a little summary where I take my categories and figure out how much I spent in each categories. And I'll spend a different video at some point talking about categories and why I have them. For some reason, I don't know. It was a really strange thing. Categories have an importance. It kind of is a lower priority for me. And yet, when I first started budgeting, the first thing I wanted to do was make my categories. I think I moved the whole table when I emphasized that. The first thing I wanted to do was concentrate on categories. So it was my way in to budgeting in some ways. So I stick with it. Then I have at the end, obviously, like I said, I get paid twice a month. So I have these 4 pages twice in every month. Then I do a where did my money go, a monthly budget wrap up. And this is the blank form that I have. I figure out my monthly expenses, how much I budgeted, how much I spent, the difference, and I'll do this usually in red or green, and what percentage this is that I spent of my total monthly income of all the money that I have. And then I compare it to last month. I didn't want to do this on 2 different pages. The Budget Mom does and other people do. I figured there was no reason not to put it all on one. Also, I am not going to make you sit through me filling this out for 2 reasons. The biggest one is I'm not sure how interested you are in that. And the second one, 2, 3. Let me try that again for 2 reasons. The first being, I'm not going to make you sit through it all. The second, and I completely forgot my second reason. Oh, I remember now. The second reason is I am really still playing catch up, and I have some time today, and I'm going to try and catch up all my budget videos, so these may be shorter than normal. They won't be as chatty, hopefully. So, poof, here's my budget breakdown for March. Since you didn't see the first half and you didn't get to see all of this, I'll show you for the second half, the part that you did see. This is how things broke up. In my home category, which usually includes my mortgage, which comes out of the first half. So the second half is much, much lower. This was lawn care, I believe. Yes, this was just lawn care. So groceries and eating out. I split them when I'm budgeting for my paycheck, but when I do my monthly, I put them together as food. That's why they're the same color. Oh, and by the way, the colors are just because we all have strange little opinions about what is extravagant and what isn't. To me, something extravagant would not be what somebody else would consider just an ordinary expense. I love color, and yet I am aware that buying color ink for printers is expensive. So I have, as a teacher, I have all kinds of school supplies. I've always liked markers, and I never use them for things. So I just busted out the markers when I started my budgeting, and I use those. That's one of the things that I can do at night while I'm watching television that puts color and some feeling of coloring in my life. So I color my budgets. Sorry, that was a way off on a sidetrack, but okay. So my utilities were the biggest expense this time, because that is the way my two biggest expenses would be my mortgage, which I put in the first half, and my gas, electric, and water utilities, which I put in the second half. Insurance, I pay all of it in this half as well. The fuel that I bought this 2 weeks, the second half of March. Personal care and pet care, there was nothing there. Entertainment, a little bit. Medical and shopping, nothing. Union dues, gifts, miscellaneous, and no debt. Yay. All right. Savings, this is funny. I was kind of doing the rainbow, and I get to red, and I'm kind of out of all the fun colors. And I thought, savings? Well, savings is about growing. And I recently got into houseplants, so I thought it needed to look like good soil. So I made it brown. This was my savings for this time. My son, this is the money that I transferred to him for the subscriptions that we share, and this is my rollover. Okay, so since you've not seen that, I didn't think, I put that all together, and now here it is, and I hope you can see it even though it is in pencil. I budgeted $845 for my home for the month. I spent $876 because I did not budget for lawn care. I didn't know if it would start in March. I figured in April. Food with groceries and eating out together, I budgeted $575. I spent $711. That's my dangerous category. I did very well at the beginning of April. We'll have to see how I did at the end of April. And yes, I am saying April because I'm already into April and just playing catch up. Utilities stayed under, which is great. Insurance stayed under. It's according to my budget. Car and fuel stayed under. Personal care stayed right on track. Entertainment stayed slightly under. Medical, I didn't spend anything out of pocket. It's all going through my health savings account right now. So that's great, and I'm still having enough to keep building it. Shopping, when I say shopping, I transfer money to another checking account. I have the checking accounts that I had set up when I was married, which was we had a household account where we direct deposited our paychecks, and I still do. We each had personal checking accounts where I would transfer some money on either a regular basis or irregular. I can't remember. It's been a while. But now it is regular. I transfer it every month, $25. And that is for my personal shopping, for clothing, for if I feel like stopping and getting a coffee with a friend. I do not drink coffee, so that would be either a tea or a Coke. It's personal discretion, and I don't worry too much about tracking it. I may change that in the future and want to know exactly what I'm spending money on, but right now that's what it is. And usually it builds up, and then I'll go shop or something. But that's why I call it shopping, and that's why you don't see me spending a whole lot of money in my paycheck budgets for shopping, is because I also don't like shopping that much. Just so you know. School, miscellaneous, gifts. I will be spending some on that in April. Debt, nothing. Yes. And savings, more than expected. Even though with all of these, if the number is higher than what is budgeted, I put it red. On savings, if it's higher than what I budget, I put it green because that's nothing but a good thing. Okay. And this is my one that I keep personally. That's why it's in pencil. And I just didn't want to take the time to recreate this whole thing, but it has my son's name on it, so I covered that up. And this is my rollover. Now, I can take this and add it up, and it should end up the same as this. It should also correspond with this, the two of these that I have when I add them up. I've been thinking about maybe doing a video about math, about how do you math for doing a budget? How do you make everything balance? Because I enjoy doing that. And if it doesn't balance to the penny, it will make me crazy. I will go and find that penny. Sometimes I have to tell myself, no, let it go. But it better be underneath $1 for me to let it go, because I can't take it. Anyway, the percentages, I do them because other people do, and I think this is really interesting. I've never used them much, but when I watch budgeting videos and people talk about how your housing should not be more than 40% or 30% of your income, I go back to here and go, huh, it's not. Okay, I didn't think about that. Distresses me a little bit how much a percentage of my income food is, or utilities on the really cold winter months or hot summer months. But everything else, and it's a piece of data that I can use going forward when I make plans, or looking back when trying to figure out how I want to change things, say, in the future. So I do keep track of that. It's a quick thing. And then what I spent last month, it usually kind of ends up. And I have these sheets that I can refer back to all the time. So that is my monthly budget breakdown. I'm hoping you can see the whole thing. Maybe not the heading, but you can see all of the figures. I have 16 categories. Some people have more. I think it's 16, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, including savings, and my son, 17 with rollover, I guess. So 18 for this little form, since I count groceries and eating out separately. And that's a quick look at my whole monthly budget. I'll continue to do these every month. If you have any questions, please put them in the comments, and I'll try to answer them the next time I do a monthly wrap-up. Also, please, if you know anything about how the YouTube interaction goes, comments are so wonderful. Everybody talks about the support of the YouTube community, and I've been a part of that on the commenting side. And it's always nice when somebody who makes videos will respond. Now I'm finding out on this side, it's really wonderful when someone comments. So if it's not too much, send me a thumbs up or an emoji, or tell me how you close out your budget. Do you even make a monthly plan? I only make my paycheck plans, but then I close out for the whole month. Some people make a monthly plan, paycheck plans. They close out their paychecks, then they close out their month. I don't do that. Personal finance is personal. So please leave me a comment, hit that like button below, or consider subscribing to my channel. I am going to get caught up on my budgets, and then I plan to post at least once a week, probably twice a week, and stay on top of this, because it is accountability for me as well. Is it accountability for you? Do you have a budget? Are you filling it out either on paper or electronically? How often do you do that? Just asking as a friend. Anyway, have a great rest of your week, and I'll talk to you soon.